I think it's kind of funny. The talks are between the U.S. and Russia, not with Zelensky involved, but there were talks between U.S. officials and Russian officials last week. It's shocking that for years under the Biden administration, in a way that wasn't even done during the Cold War, they were just not talking. They shunned Russia and would not speak to them at all. So at least that is currently happening. What do you think about what's currently going on with Trump's push to actually open up negotiations with Putin and put an end to this war, even if he's a what I would say rightfully sidelining Zelensky in the process, who's already said he doesn't want to talk to Russia, he doesn't want to have elections. So to me, he's already made himself irrelevant.
Well, I mean, Zelensky he's a clown. I mean, he was a comedian by background. I mean, he's known for doing very interesting skits. Somehow he got in. I don't understand whatsoever. And he does not want to negotiate on any of these types of things. So like, how are we ever going to have peace if you won't even have a conversation with the other side? You won't even recognize what their complaints are. The rhetoric coming out of the United States over the last 4 years of the Biden crime family's administration has just been completely ridiculous. Like, they won't even look at things. They try to paint the entire process as this madman who is going to take over Europe and just invaded with no warning, that nobody saw it coming. It was completely like out of right field. And it's like, well, that's not the case. Actually, there's 1,000 instances where we can show that NATO was the aggressor in this process, that there was a red line on all of it. And they kept pushing and pushing and pushing, that they were looking for a response. So, I'm not surprised that Zelensky has been sidelined on all of these types of things, because he is part of the Biden influence, right? So they're going to cut him out and they're going to have an adult conversation. What's going to happen with that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But once again, I'm very bullish on the fact that, President Trump will be the president of peace. And I want to see him follow through with all of these types of things that he's promised in his campaigns.
What do you think is going through the minds of what seems like at least 90% of the quote unquote leaders of Europe that all still seem to be just frothing at the mouth to go to war with Russia, when we all know they can't go to war with Russia? Only the U.S. can go to war with Russia with them. What is their play here? Are they trying to, do you think they're going to try to continue to sort of push Trump into a corner, or create some sort of event that sort of tries to egg the U.S. into a greater war? What can they be thinking here? Because I don't see how this ends well for Europe in any way, shape, or form.
So this is a difficult one, because it's difficult to put your mind in your headspace in the mind of a sociopath. I mean, like, it's just not a normal human behavior. Statistically, there is a certain percentage of population that are complete sociopaths, and they gravitate to positions like this. But it's even worse in Europe, because Europe is run by bureaucrats and technocrats. Like, they're not run by elected officials. They didn't have to do any of these types of things. It's this governing body in Brussels that just makes all of these weird decisions. And I think we're going to be talking about it today, what happened in Romania, for example, with the bureaucrats there. Like, I can't get my brain in a position like this to try to understand, because that's not who I am. I have emotions and I have feelings and I have empathy and logic, and I didn't sell my soul to Satan, so it's difficult to kind of understand what's going on. But I don't see there's any world where they're actually going to be better off or come out on top on any of these types of things. So it's a very bizarre situation. I've been looking for answers for this for years now. I have not come up with anything that logically makes any sense.
Perhaps consider leaving Europe if you're there. That's all I'll say.
Exactly.
Give it a thought, depending on where you are.
Expatmoney.com. We will help you get out. That is a dumpster fire. You don't need to be there anymore. We'll relocate you somewhere much better.